Let's look at a couple of ways we can take this common chord progression and turn it into something unique and different like this. So first let's look at the chord progression that we're going to be using. We're going to use a C to a G to an A minor to an F, or 1, 5, 6 minor, 4 minor. So let me show you two different ways that you can spice up this chord progression, just to make it a little bit different than the common chord progression that we just heard. The first one is, let's incorporate a chord inversion. And a chord inversion basically is just taking one of the notes other than the root and putting that as the bass note in that chord. So in this case here, let's take a C, and what I did there is I did C to a G but over B. There's my B note. Same thing as this shape here, but instead of playing the G in the root position, I'm playing the B in the root position. So to the A minor, to the F. So a chord inversion really allows this nice little bass movement. So you can hear that. And if you want to, you can also spice up the notes on the top as well. In this case here, I'm playing the C on top of the C chord. But when I go to the G over B, I'm putting my pinky down to grab this D note here. So I'm adding a little bit of movement from this part, from the C chord to the G chord. And then I'm going back down to the C for the A minor chord and staying there on that C for the F chord. So now we have this kind of contrary motion happening with the bass line and the top notes going up and staying the same. Now, this is the interesting way to really spice up this chord progression. Listen to this. Now, what did I do there? Well, I did the same bass motion. I did the C down to the B, but instead of playing a G chord, I added my first finger on this G sharp, which basically makes an E7 chord resolving to an A minor chord in the next chord in the progression. Now, what is that called? Well, that's called a secondary dominant chord. And that sounds fancy, but all you're really doing is that you're going to take a chord, a 5 chord, of the chord that follows it. So in this case here, the E7 resolves to the A minor. So again, it sounds like this. To the F. So basically, we just changed one chord, kept that kind of bass motion going, and added that nice little resolution to the A minor, to the F. So I just want to encourage you, think about and look at your chord progressions and then think about where you can insert a dominant chord before the next chord in the progression to resolve it there, and just add a little bit of spice to your chord progressions.